Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, finally back from the hospital with a strong but still recovering idle villager. I finally had a chance to read all of your fantastic messages and well wishes, and to everyone who wrote something, liked the post, or even just read it and walked away without being a dick about it, a massive thank you. You are the reason we have such an amazing international community of AoE enthusiasts. And like my sick little loonless villager, our community, it's only getting bigger and stronger. So without further ado, and before I get too emotional and start crying, let's sit down to watch Heart playing as the Byzantines in blue take on the Viper, playing as a very camouflaged Lithuanian in yellow. I'm gonna have to change the color of this player. This is going to be very hard for me to see on the minimap. Although, let's see, who knows? Never say never in Age of Empires, whether you're watching, playing, casting, or just enjoying. In any event, let's take a look as the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age. A good opportunity for us to take a look at these two civilizations. Now, the Byzantines is civilization designed to be as hard as possible to take down. Their structures get progressively more HP as the game goes on. Currently in Dark Age, everything you see in front of you comes with 10% more HP. So instead of the usual 550 on a house, that, for example, the Viper has, Heart has 605, 10% more. That grows and grows and grows all the way up to 40% in Imperial. And by the way, unlike the Persian TC that comes with double the HP, this applies to basically every structure of the Byzantines. Their bombard towers can be upgraded to do splash damage. They also get Town Watch and Town Patrol for free, so they see you coming from a mile away. And once the battle finally does start, their monks heal units from, twice as fast as normal. They can slow down enemy advances. You guys know, when there's an elephant pole or a rhino pole or a boar pole or whatever, I just lose track of everything that goes on in the world, and I just watch and watch and watch. In any event, as I was about to say, they can clog the works. They can clog your attack arteries by spamming so-called trash units for days. Byzantine spearman line units, their skirmishers, and even their camel riders are all 25% cheaper. And their unique unit, the Cataphract, is a heavy cavalry unit with a massive attack bonus against infantry that can take a beating with a good amount of HP and some pretty strong base armor. Now, once the Byzantines do finally decide to advance to the Imperial Age, they only pay 2/3 the cost of doing that, which does allow them to save and invest their saved resources into upgrading their very same Cataphracts I just mentioned by giving them trample damage and an even bigger attack bonus against infantry. Now, the Cataphract, super duper cool unit, one that we may or may not necessarily get to see against the Lithuanians. We'll see how many spearman line units our Viper trains here. Speaking of, as a gazelle falls to the hunters, let's take a look at the Lithuanians. Very much a civilization that focuses not on its light, but on its heavy cavalry. Their knights, their cavaliers, their paladins all get a free +1 attack boost for every single relic that's collected. So we'll take a look at where the relics are on the map. Lately in Arabia, there's generally one right in the dead center, but we'll see how many are close to this Lithuanian base for the Viper to get that +1, and so forth. By the way, caps out at +4 for 4 relics. So before you go out there and collect all 5 and expect +5, not exactly the way it works, but the way it does work is that this free plus whatever number of relics you get does apply to their unique unit, the latest. This is a heavy cavalry unit whose attack actually ignores enemy armor, making it one of the most dangerous cavalry units in the game. Now, the gathered relics get that free attack boost ASAP. Lithuanian monasteries do work 20% faster, so you can start pumping out monks a little bit quicker than your opponent. And to support their armies on the battlefield, their spearman line units, their skirmishers, no, they're not discounted like the Byzantine, but what they do, that sounds dirty. What they do get is a faster movement speed. Their spearman line units, their skirmishers move 10% faster than normal, and both of those classes of units can be upgraded to get extra pierce armor. FYI, a fully upgraded Lithuanian elite skirmisher with tower shields, which is the name of this upgrade, 10 massive pierce armor. That is Huskarl. That is Incan Eagle Warrior level pierce armor. So they are quite difficult to take down if, I say a big if, we get to see any kind of archer units. Now, to build a robust economy, support their military endeavors, the Lithuanians do get 100 free food for every town center, which means those eagle-eyed viewers will have noticed that the Viper did start with 300 food instead of the usual 200, and they can be much harder to raid in the Castle Age since they can upgrade their TCs to get extra +3 range. Viper getting the first kill of the game here in the back of his base. Heart inexplicably not really running away. Maybe was microing something back home. Was he pulling an animal, pushing an animal? Little odd that he just kind of lost that scout there to the back of the Viper's base. But in any event, as I was saying, the Lithuanians, the only civ in the game that can expand the range on their town centers, in this case by +3, which makes them pretty safe, as I mentioned, in Castle Age from mangonels and any kind of that. Anything that wants to basically throw giant big boulders and rocks at their town center, that +3 Hill Forts upgrade, which is a Castle Age upgrade, does keep their TCs nice and safe. And so those are the two civilizations we've got in front of us. Cheaper skirmishers, cheaper pikemen, let's say, versus quicker moving skirmishers and quicker moving pikemen. Now, that's not necessarily going to help you against Mother Nature herself, as the lion activates here. But I think on the low ground, not too sure this lion will get that much damage. But oh my goodness, well, cheaper or not, this unit, it's not free. And so losing, look how much HP this unit lost to that one lion. Okay, well, there's, by the way, that relic right in the dead old center of the map. Speaking of, let's take a look at the map, and let's take a look at the battlefield that we find ourselves in on today. And now the Viper's obviously going to take advantage. Oh, did you really need to get the high ground there? What are you going to save? Like 3 hit points once you finally do kill that spearman? And the Viper takes the second kill of the game. Might take a third here if Heart isn't careful, but threading the eye of the needle, the scout does manage to run the hell away. The Viper himself does have an injured scout. So, Relic 1, I'm hoping the Viper knows by now. I mean, he must have seen the relic. He has not seen the relic, but this is where, you know, you kind of hope the Viper watches my videos. Highly doubtful, but you never know. Never say never, like I said in Age of Empires. He would know that lately on Arabia, there's always a relic right in the dead center of the map. There's also a relic to the bottom left of his base and a relic to the top right of his base. And we're going to see where the resources are located. It looks like our Byzantine wants to be the one who puts on the aggression. And that aggression so far has netted him absolutely jack nothing, as he's lost 2 units to 0. And now he's going to run around. But, oh, look at that, the Viper. You want to run through here? You're going to have to go through a house and a palm tree. That's a palm tree, right? Oh, look at that. Oh, excuse me. It's a palm forest. How dare I? How dare I assume that one tree is just a tree? Anyway, while he's here, not a bad time for us to actually look. Primary gold, like it for the Viper. Nice and secure to the back. Stone, he's kind of left off campus because he has walled himself into a bit of a half base here. So this is like smoking one of those very small little cigars that you can get. The little cigarillos at the gas station is this base. And a villager with loom bites the dust. So Heart does manage to strike back at the very heart of his opponent's base, no pun intended, while the Viper tries to keep him out. But these scouts have taken some damage. They're down to 2/3 of their HP, a little bit less, and the Viper is still chasing. I really do want to take a look at where the resources are located. I notice a few units here for the Viper, a bit stationary. Not too sure why he's not microing those units. Every time Heart wants to go here, the Viper just plops down a house. Is it really so bad to let him in here? He'll run either to the left into the TC or into the right. There's a nook here where he'll attack the villagers, but your spearmen will close on him. And look at that, the Viper carves up his spearmen into attack group north and south. South gets 1 poke off at these scouts, whose HP is now 1/3. And now the Viper wants to take a fight. Now he says, come, I've got a juicy little prize for you, Mr. Scout. Okay, spearmen are moving forward. The Viper spearmen are returning home, finally making use of them. Making use of the boots they're wearing. And the Viper, okay, continuing this chase. Oh, look at that. 2 extra patches of gold off to the left side of his base and the 3rd stone as well. So 3 of his extra resources are all here on the left side. Ooh, okay, now the Viper's getting a little fancy schmancy as he tries to corral these scouts in, but so far not really having that much luck. So the Viper does have a safe patch of gold. Wood, safe for now because I don't see any ranged units being trained for our Byzantine, who is going up to Castle Age about 20 seconds, or pardon me, about 2 seconds behind his opponent. I really do want to look at Heart's base, but I also don't want to miss what happens to these scouts. Oh, they're taking so much poking and prodding, but okay, they're getting cornered. They're getting cornered, and now they are definitely cornered. The Viper just says, get the F out. Oh, come on. Okay, he peels one spearman. Oh, but the Heart is just not making this easy for the Viper. Look at this. There's absolutely no reason to do this except to flex. Maybe to practice your micro. He's going to go between them. Oh, but even between them, there's only one tile of space. So Heartt putting up a good show there. A nice little equestrian demonstration of his micro. Or a demonstration of his equestrian micro, rather. And the Viper. Eyeballs from the enemy gone. Plops down a second. So I'm glad we're going to get to see some cavalry play in the Castle Age. Like I mentioned, Heartt just mere seconds behind his opponent going up to that penultimate age. And now he's going to be as annoying as before. But these are Lithuanian spearmen. You cannot run away from them because they do move 10% faster than you. And that's all she wrote. Okay, is he going to go after another one? Man, I don't think I've ever been this distracted from looking at players' bases and resources. But the battle rages. Forging for both gold mining upgrades for our Byzantine, who gets surrounded again. And the Viper takes a healthy 6-1 kill lead, although he has lost the only villager. Now the time has come to repay his opponent for being annoying. I don't think the Viper is going to be as annoying as his opponent, but what he will be is getting a good number of, a good amount of vision, pardon me, as 2 extra Castle Age town centers go up for our Byzantine. He's ahead 1 villager, army counts identical, and not exactly the craziest or strongest for both players. Our Byzantine does suss out the Lithuanian monastery, but you're playing against the Lithuanian, so finding a monastery is more of a confirmation bias than it is of any kind of earth-shattering discovery. You know, not exactly Isaac Newton with an apple falling on your head when you see a Lithuanian build a monastery. Speaking of, how many relics has the Viper seen? Oh, congratulations, he's finally seen the one in the center, has not seen the one right to the left of his base, and has not seen the one, pardon me, right to the right of his base. Unit lit up on the minimap because a single monk wants to convert. Will Heartt flex his equestrian micro yet again? Will he try to outrun this entire army by sniping the monks? He does not. Remember, Castle Age, these are scouts. I'm hoping / assuming they have husbandry. I should assume absolutely nothing. I just made an ass of myself because they do not have husbandry. With husbandry, they move at 1.71, I believe. And yeah, there it is, missing. Okay. Monk for both players. Okay. Monk used to be for both players until both monks, one to the left, one to the right, got sniped. The Viper really needs to explore relics, and I see on the minimap, as hard as it is to see, there is a yellow dot, and that yellow dot is moving slowly. It is a monk. Has caught wind of the relic to the right. But busy microing this battle in front of his opponent's base. I don't think he's seen, quote-unquote, actually seen that relic, even though he's seen it on the minimap. When he looks at the minimap, he'll be like, oh, duh, I overshot the mark. But you know what they say? Shoot for the stars and land. Well, what's the expression? Shoot for the moon, land on the stars. Shoot for the stars, land on the moon. Basically, if you want to achieve something, aim for that something plus an extra 10%, so that even if you fail, you at least accomplish what you wanted to accomplish, or get a little bit closer to it. Another TC for our Lithuanian, who is now down 6 villagers. Now, going heavy cavalry means that our Lithuanian needs to get, at the very minimum, 2 relics, I think. And why do I say 2 relics? Because, number one, you know your opponent's going to go camels. This is the Byzantines. They're 25% cheaper. Missing Blast Furnace, the Imperial Age upgrade, is completely irrelevant in Castle Age. Plays no role whatsoever. Your monks heal units at ridiculously lightning speed. I believe the usual monk, 150 HP per minute on a single unit, which means the Byzantine heals at 300 HP per minute. But why do I say 2? Because generally pro players, for some odd reason, even though it's not the cheapest of upgrades, I think 220, 120, where are you, Mr. Iron Casting? There you are. 220 food, 120 gold. They never get it. I don't understand it. They never get Iron Casting, the pro players. And so, the Viper needs 1 relic, which he, by the way, now has. That relic here on the right side has been brought to the Lithuanian monastery. Now with that 1 relic, he's on par. So his knights are going to be +2. So if he gets 1 more relic, he's going to be at +3, which is the only civ in the game that can have a knight at +3 in Castle Age. So that's why I said he, in my opinion, needs 2 relics. Now, if he got Iron Casting, he would need 1 relic. Oh, look at that. Monk does survive for a few seconds. So Heartt opting for mobility with these scouts versus the actual power of the unit with light cavalry. The Viper I saw did upgrade his light scouts to light cav, which means they move a little bit slower, but get a bigger attack bonus against monks. I believe it jumps from 6 to 10, if I'm not mistaken. That's funny if the Viper, oh, he is going to discover this relic eons before he discovers the one that's even just closer to his base. And will he make it home? Will he get that free +2 attack? For now, happy to keep the pressure on the front of the Byzantine base, while the Byzantine does not have eyeballs here. I don't think. Has he explored? No, he has not explored. I remember seeing a blue dot. There might be one heading that way. And look at that movement speed. Almost Shrevamsha level, 1.71 tiles per second. So like I said, our Byzantine preferring movement and mobility. The attack bonus against monks +6, whereas the Vipers is +10, but the movement speed a little bit slower, but doesn't really matter. Monk to the left is dead, monk to the right is dead, and all of this mental masturbation means absolutely nothing, as the Viper very calmly, very slowly heads back, hoping he doesn't run into any blue dots on the minimap. More and more infrastructure for our Byzantine, who is housed. He's still ahead, just about 6 villagers, so not the craziest of Vil leads. Another 100 gold down the toilet for our Lithuanian, who has still not discovered the relic, so close to his own apartment. And now look at this. Heartt says, I know where your monks are coming from because I got vision of your monastery before, and I'm just gonna send a preemptive attack force there. But as they run away after killing one fresh monk, a not so fresh monk appears. But will Heartt go for it? Oh, the Viper wanted to wall him in, but the villager that wanted to wall in the monk and save it actually ends up kind of almost screwing the monk by body blocking it for moving, and a bit of a traffic jam. How many of us with siblings have done that? I'm going left, you go right, I go right, you go left, and we're just blocking each other. And here we go, 28 minutes into the game. 2 relics to 1. Could potentially be 3 if the Viper just had explored the southwest portion of the map. Worst time for a lion to attack. And it looks like we're about to have a cavalry clash from 2 civilizations that might want to add some pikemen into this mix. Again, 25% cheaper pikemen, 10% faster moving pikemen. The Viper's army is injured AF, 400 HP down. Heartt's army is at near full health, and with the Byzantine, after they convert whatever they want to convert, the healing rate, as I mentioned, twice as fast as normal. The battle is joined. Viper, delete the houses, delete the houses. Okay, not too sure who's winning what. Heartt's going after a monk here inexplicably. That monk already spent his faith, I believe. And now I know what's going on. Our Byzantine is absolutely destroying this Lithuanian army, but he retreats. He's going to try to set up a castle here. Will the Viper see the castle? Oh, the scout dies right before seeing the castle. Another monk pops out. Another monk dies immediately. Another villager are exposed. And that's all she wrote. Oh my, I need to see that battle again. Did the Viper actually catch wind of this castle? No, he didn't. This one light cavalry unit right here that died. Oh, if he only had seen, I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference. Heartt still ends up taking the game. But what the hell happened there? I thought the Viper would have taken a much better battle. Let's see. Sometimes I like to... oh, it looks like a few conversions have already gone down. So let's see what's happening here. First of all, 1, 2, 3, 4 stables lying as fallow as this field that's being seeded right now. Why is the Viper not training units out of here? Our Byzantine is training 3 camels. How far away are his stables? 1, 2, 3. So it seems like they're far, but this camel moves super fast. 1.6 tiles, 1.49. Okay, so they both finally have husbandry. Light cav, I'm assuming for both players. No, just 1 light cav for the Viper. 2 Byzantine monks, 2 Lithuanian monks. I guess I could just do this. Let's take out the villagers. And so what are we working with? We've got 14 camels, 7 light cav, 2 monks and a knight. Against 18 knights, 2 monks, a camel, and a light cav. Okay. So the 3 extra units, who gives a shit? 14 camels, 18 knights. And let's see how this all progresses, because again, I don't see anything being trained here for the Viper, who has defender's advantage against the non-stop working stables of the Byzantine. We'll see if that even plays a role, because this battle, I feel like it raged on for a good minute and a half. So let's see what happens here. First of all, what do we think? Should the Viper have deleted these houses? You're facing a counter unit. Choke points are not your friend. Choke points are very much not your friend. I don't know. Maybe he thought he could defend the monks, the villagers, clog up the works, but you've got no ranged units. You yourself have no pikemen. Neither player has pikemen inexplicably. I don't understand. Even spearmen would be fantastic at this point with their plus 18, plus 15 attack bonuses that come in handy against units like this. Byzantines don't get bloodlines, so spearmen for the Lithuanian would have been absolutely, even with their basic bonuses, would have been fantastic. Pikemen better, but in any event, doesn't really matter. Let's see what happened here. Conversions attempted. One camel attacking his former teammates. Okay. I like this from the Viper. He tries to draw the Byzantine army into here, into number one, a narrow area with his light cav on the right, who are probably going to go after the monk, but more importantly, the high ground. If you're facing a counter unit that does plus 9 damage to you, plus 9 cavalry, you need the high ground. You need it bad. By the way, knights at a plus 3. Again, the only civ in the game with the ability to have 13 attack knights. And the Viper, just a little bit more food. Why? And I was right. Was I not right about not having iron casting? Why do the pros not like spending 200 food? I get it. That's like 3-4 units depending on what you're training. But come on. Plus 1 attack. You basically nullify all the armor that the camel has. And then with that nullified armor, it's basically naked. It's got 0 armor. And basically every single one of your units is a Latus. In any event, rant over. Let's enjoy the battle here. So Heart takes the engagement, then runs away, retreats. Another camel gets converted. Another blue knight becomes blue. Another knight becomes blue. So losing some camels for some knights. Players are trading back and forth. General melee scuffle here. Why? Okay, number one. Where the F are you going? Get your ass back here and start healing some units. Byzantine monks, such a powerful reinforcing unit. 300 HP, I believe, per second they heal individual units. Okay, easy pickings for this guy. Easy pickings for those light cavalry. Now, I'm not a big fan of what Heartt did here, going after the monks. These are... I mean, this guy was completely useless. They both were out of faith, I believe, at the moment they died. And a monk without faith, basically, I mean, you're healing at 150 HP per minute, I believe. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure the monks really were the target. But to be fair, what the hell else are you going to do with a light cavalry unit? And yeah, the monk is not even anywhere close to regaining its faith. Now, Byzantine monks are a much juicier target because they heal so much faster. So you definitely want to knock them out of commission ASAP. But I wonder whether while you're attacking the monk, you're taking a damage from opposing units. Or maybe you're not. I guess he did escape with all 3. Okay, well. In any event, doesn't really matter. 2 Lithuanian monks are dead. 30 seconds into the battle. We've got only 10 knights left. 10 camels, a knight, 2 monks, and 3 light cavalry left. Well, I'll make that 4 with this guy on the left. And by the way, reinforcements. Heartt still training 3 monks. 3 camels. The Viper, finally. But look at this, 12%, 13%. 2 of them are being trained, almost out. So they'll pop out, but they'll pop out just in time to die. Very sour timing here for the Viper, who, as we saw later on, also pops out among. Very sour timing. Incredibly sour timing on these 4 stables. There is no reason he should not have been reinforcing. There's no reason, by the way, not to pop out even just basic spearmen out of this barracks. Okay, now his light cav, who were on a bit of a world tour here, are returning home, and I thought for sure he would scout the castle. He did see the villagers, right? Sorry, everybody. Yeah, he did see the villagers, but they were just kind of standing, so he didn't see them moving forward, I don't think. Let's see. No. What he did see is reinforcing camels. And now again, in a choke point, counter unit is always going to prevail. Almost always. Nothing's always in this game. And there you go. The Viper now training reinforcements. Something he should have been doing literally a minute ago. He is doing, but sour timing for the Viper. Did he? And we saw he didn't catch wind of the castle either. But he saw at least a clump of villagers. He saw reinforcing camels. And look at this. Defender's advantage doesn't really matter if you're not training units to make use of that defender's advantage. And then that monk popping out, another 100 gold down the toilet, another monk popping out of here will be able to help. But now the Viper's gold mining operation, as we saw, all 3 of his extra resources are now basically exposed. His primary gold still nice and juicy. Stone not really playing a role in either player's, in the Viper's game plan here, it doesn't seem. He's completely exposed to the right as well. But doesn't matter. What an atrocious battle to take as our Lithuanian. And even though at the end of the day, he did manage to get those monks. Fantastic move by him. Wow, the Byzantine camel. So a lot of just sour things happening there at the end for the Viper. Not training reinforcements fast enough. Taking on a civilization that has cheaper camels. Camels, which, by the way, you saw streaming across the map in trios non-stop. And you saw some villagers. Now, whether or not the Viper has the game sense, I suspect he does, to know that a castle drop is coming. Because let's see if he's seen. And for the first time, we're actually going to look at Heartt's base. So he did see a mining camp next to the stone. I'm not too sure how many villagers he saw on that stone. Right now, 2 of those 5 patches have been depleted. But the Viper knows there's stone incoming. He knows there's extra town centers. 1 doesn't really see the second, but must suspect he's got that snake sense of the game. If I can be... what's the word I'm looking for? Sibilant? Sibilant? I think that's the word, right? I mean, am I making up a word? Sibilant? The one that makes you, when you say you're S like a snake, like Viper has that snake game sense, and he must know that a castle is coming, and a Byzantine castle at that with 30% more HP. Loses the battle, loses the villagers, loses the monks, reinforcements nowhere close to even being helpful, while his opponent just has everything going for him. Heartt is ahead 9 villagers, quadruple the army count, and reinforcements streaming, cheaper reinforcements, FYI, ones that, by the way, also come with a +9 attack bonus against your units. And so all things are coming up. Heartt and the Viper with a little bit of sour timing there. Not too sure why he really needed a monastery right here, right now. In any event, it's up, but whatever, train dies right next to the villager that built it. And the Viper just takes an absolute atrocious battle there. Camels to knights. And again, the knights with the, if only would Iron Casting have changed anything? I think it might have. Look at the HP on some of these camel units. A few +1/+1, 18 knights with +1 is 18 extra HP reduced with every single attack. And knights, by the way, attack almost twice as fast as camels, 1.8 to 3. Oh my goodness, I'm such an idiot. I was thinking of spearmen. And I mean, they still attack faster, but not, again, my brain is on spearmen because the next thing I wanted to say is where the hell were the spearman line units for either player? Even just basic spearmen here could have changed the dynamic, I think, for the Viper, who does have a very close reinforcing barracks. But in any event, let's take a look at the stats. The Viper, like I said, just taking a very bad, economically not the worst position to be in. He does have 2 relics. There is still 1 safe I see on the minimap next to his base, another one next to the Byzantine base. PKPM very close for both players. One right at the beginning of the game, one right towards the end of the game. But scouts and monks and main death dealers were the camels and the knights for both. The economies, yeah, look at that. Not that dissimilar. You were down 4 villagers, 6, 7 villagers, now 9 villagers. Not the end of the world in such a short game. Food and stone for our Byzantine, wood and gold for our Lithuanian. Again, stone playing absolutely no role. A few Lechi could have actually been very helpful, but those take time. You need to build a castle, you need to train them, etc. 4 conversions apiece. Very cool. Any villager kills beside that one that we saw? Yeah, Heartt did manage to get that second villager beyond the first one that he killed, and that's it. That's all the vill kills in the game, but 47 kills to 43 is really the military kills in this game that mattered. And so that battle, the final battle, super cool. And like I said, I think just a little bit sour timing for the Viper. If the battle had happened, or if he had started training the knights, even 4 extra knights could have been very helpful here. Because again, Heartt's army ends with 600 HP. And so 4 knights is 480 HP. So, you know, you could have made things a little bit closer here and there. That being said, the castle follow-up definitely doesn't really exactly lame anything here. Doesn't exactly wreck your military-industrial complex, your economic operations. It does establish a bit of a center position, which is naughty, but, you know, the Viper can just peer to the left, peer off to the right, and attack that way. In any event, though, I don't think he had the... it's so sour to just streaming in reinforcements 1, 2, 3 at a time while your opponent has the cheaper, better unit. quote-unquote better unit has taken the battle, and so psychologically not a great place to be here as our Lithuanian, which is why I suspect the Viper taps out. Heart takes the W, but GG in a short but fun and bloody game to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.